What's the most awkward conversation you've ever had with a stranger? I asked a woman at the grocery store how far along she was, and she definitely wasn't pregnant. She was standing in front of me in the checkout line, wearing a flowy dress that I completely misread. "When are you due?" I asked with a smile, thinking I was being friendly. She turned around and stared at me like I'd just slapped her. "Excuse me?" My brain hadn't caught up to my mouth yet, so I kept digging the hole deeper. "Your baby! You must be so excited!" I said, gesturing vaguely at her stomach area. Her face went from confused to absolutely mortified. "I'm not pregnant," she said loudly enough for half the store to hear. The cashier stopped scanning items and looked up at us. The person behind me in line took a big step backward. I felt my face turn bright red as the reality of my mistake hit me. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," I stammered. "I thought, the dress, I'm an idiot." She crossed her arms over her stomach and glared at me. "Do I really look pregnant to you?" she asked. There was no right answer to that question. "No, not at all. I don't know why I said that," I lied desperately. The cashier was now actively eavesdropping while pretending to scan the same item repeatedly. "You just asked me when I'm due," the woman said. "Why would you ask that if I don't look pregnant?" I was trapped in my own logic and panicking. "I have no idea. Brain malfunction. Temporary insanity." She shook her head and turned back toward the cashier. "Some people have no filter," she muttered loud enough for everyone to hear. I stood there dying internally while she paid for her groceries. She took forever counting out exact change, probably to make me suffer longer. The cashier kept glancing between us like we were providing free entertainment. Finally, she grabbed her bags and walked away without looking back. "That was rough," the cashier said as I stepped forward. "Please pretend that never happened," I begged. "Oh, I'm definitely telling everyone about this," she replied cheerfully. I paid for my stuff as quickly as possible and practically ran to my car. But of course, the woman was parked right next to me. She was loading groceries into her trunk when I walked up. "I really am incredibly sorry," I said. "That was completely inappropriate." She slammed her trunk shut and looked at me. "Do you know how many times people have asked me that this month?" she said. My heart sank even further. "A lot?" "7 times. 7 different strangers have asked when I'm due. I felt like the worst person on earth." "I'm so sorry. That must be awful." She sighed and leaned against her car. "I just bought this dress last week. I thought it was cute and flattering." "It is cute," I said quickly. "Really cute. I'm just an idiot with no social skills." She actually smiled a little bit at that. "You're not the first person to make this mistake," she admitted. "But you're definitely the most apologetic about it." We stood there in awkward silence for a moment. "I'm thinking about returning the dress," she said finally. "Don't return it because of me," I said. "I'm clearly not a reliable fashion judge." She laughed despite herself. "You know what? You're right. I like this dress." "Good. And I'm never making assumptions about anyone ever again." She got in her car and rolled down the window. "For what it's worth, you seem like a nice person who just had a really bad moment. Thank you for not calling store security on me." She drove away and I sat in my car for 10 minutes replaying every horrible second. Now, I only comment on things people are clearly holding or wearing on purpose. Nice coffee cup is about as risky as I get with strangers these days.